welcome, it's Denome. I made this video because I want to give you my updated view on Bitcoin and the crypto markets with everything going on in the market right now and some interesting ideas I have on the charts, as well as we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin fundamentals. Basically, the bottom indicators are flashing green, so I want to highlight a few of those. We're going to talk about if this is the Bitcoin bottom here or if we're going to go lower or not. And then we're going to also talk about altcoins because there are some things that I want to avoid going into the next bull market, that some of the mistakes that I made during this one. So I just want to give that idea as well and kind of show my altcoin strategy going into the next bull run basically. One thing before I show that talk about the chart is actually this one. So Celsius network, they had this 24,000 Bitcoin position here open, and the liquidation price was very close to actually hitting the liquidation. At some point, they only had like a 7 percentile difference to the actual liquidation price. But right now, they somehow were able to get $120 million in just one day and bail out a lot of the funds. So now the liquidation price is less than $5,000. So I don't think that we're gonna hit that number. So I don't think the liquidation hunters who were trying to liquidate Celsius will try to do it anymore because the liquidation price is so low and it's actually quite hard to get there. So at least this one will probably not cause more downside because the liquidation hunters basically it's a game over there for them. I don't think this price will be hit. And this is also good news for the Celsius users who have Bitcoin on their app, because now hopefully Celsius will pay off this position and they can start opening the withdrawals again, so people can get their Bitcoin out of Celsius. So this is all good news for people who have Bitcoin on the Celsius, and also for people who are looking for those bottom signals. So anyway, they paid off this one. Just wanted to show that one. And also it seems like a lot of the FUD is starting to, how do I say, even out. So even though a lot of the lending platforms are still holding withdrawals, I feel like the momentum is actually slowing down rather than speeding up. So we'll see how things go, but for me it seems a little bit more peaceful right now, less uncertainty. But of course it's up on the lending platforms themselves. Hopefully no big exchanges shut down. I took my funds away from crypto.com. Actually, I explained why in my Telegram, but basically I had some Pax Gold and USDC stablecoins there. I just withdrew all of those out. I still have CRO locked and just a bare minimum amount of USDC that I want to keep there to top up my card basically. But the terms and conditions on the crypto.com ecosystem are just so bad that it's no longer worth my money and the risk. And because crypto.com, in my opinion, is still losing money rather than making a profit, it's just riskier to keep assets there. So for that reason, I took my funds away from that as well. So I almost have nothing on the centralized exchanges right now. And that's also one of the reasons why, by the way, before I go to the chart, if you have ideas how to generate a passive cash flow on the crypto markets right now, I would definitely be interested in that. I'm currently looking into some DeFi delta neutral strategies for generating yield, because right now I'm living off of my savings and I don't like that situation. So I want my cash flow to start running again. Probably one of the reasons why I will probably make a little bit more videos in the future as well. And if you have ideas how I can monetize the channel again a little bit better, I don't really want to ask for money, but if you have ideas to how to monetize the channel, let me know as well. Anyway, let's go to the actual chart here and then go from there. These are the lines that you may have seen me draw a long time ago. So the idea here was to path out this bottom here and this bottom here, and then just put parallel lines that align in different price points on top of each other to kind of see the angle of the market. So all these lines are aligned on the logarithmic chart on the same pathway, and they are pretty interesting because the bottoms here line up perfectly with the angle of the tops as well here. And all these price points seem to have to respect this specific angle. And I don't know how long this lasts, or maybe it will break. But right now it's still respecting these lines. So we can still use these to kind of get the idea if Bitcoin has bottomed out. And as you can see, we are right at the bottom right now here. So this is definitely an area of interest. And this is the area that I've been talking about for the last almost a year now, that once we break this dotted yellow line here, every time we break the yellow dotted line, then we go and visit the bottom left line as well. And that's exactly what we have done here now. So we did that. I was talking about that, I don't know, a few months ago in some video. But anyway, we are now here. So this is definitely, in my opinion, a price of interest. But of course, we could go lower. And the next year, I think, will be pretty rough because there's signs that the real estate bubble in the United States is about to implode, as well as the debt bubble is looking a little bit shaky, as Russia, they defaulted on their USD loan, and other countries are probably looking to do the same because they just cannot pay the rising interest rates and keep their economy running. So they rather default on their loan than to pay back the interests. So I don't know if that will happen or not, but that's something that could happen in the macro world that could even crash the USD price. But as long as companies and countries, they respect the USD loans, that's all fine. But if the debt bubble bursts and companies and countries start to default on their USD loan, I think that's when we might see some short-term price action to the downside. But on the long term, that would be perfect for Bitcoin, because then companies and countries would be looking for alternatives for USD. So anyway, just some short-term, long-term macro ideas that I have is that in the short term, the next year, energy crisis, food crisis, maybe even if it's especially cold winter, that could cause some problems, because countries in Europe are now implementing new emergency laws where they can actually ratio electricity, they can ratio groceries, they can ratio food, and even gasoline can be ratioed. So all these things are happening right now, which are very scary. And I think the peak would be next winter. But after next winter, I think things that would probably in the macro scale hopefully be like a bottom, and then we can start to have a recovery on the macro scale. And for that reason, even though we are at this bottom level here, I'm still a little bit cautious to go all in, because the macroeconomics, the wheels are basically starting to clog even more than they have before. So I don't want to go all in even at this moment here. But just some things that I want to show in this chart. Number one is the RSI. So if we take a look at the RSI, you can see that we are now below 30. And every single time we have been below number 30, you can see that was the absolute bottom of that particular bear market. So here as well, we hit this bottom here, and that was the lowest low that you were able to buy Bitcoin. And here again, we are below that number 30 on the weekly RSI number. So this is another buy signal for Bitcoin. So definitely a good area for accumulation. And that's basically what I'm doing as well. And the altcoins are looking pretty good in my opinion as well, looking at that as well. And then just looking at these different bear markets that we've had, they follow this these channel formations. And right now we are in a channel as well. Let me go to the daily view. As you can see, I have to adjust this a little bit here. As you can see, we are on this channel on the downside here. And we just had a bounce from the bottom line of this channel. The top line, well, there's two arguments. You can even follow this path, or you can follow this steeper path. Basically, we have to knock both of them to the upside, but there could be still a chance that we hit one more low here that would basically be like a 14,000 here. I see many people calling it. I'm just saying that it is possible, because these lines, they are just lines, you know. It doesn't have to be respected. So definitely a 14,000 could happen, but I would say that this line will probably be respected nonetheless. But every time this formation has been basically cancelled, this is where a new bull market starts. It happened here in 2019, and it happened here also in 2015. We did go and hit another low here though on 2015, but anyway, that's basically once we go up from this channel, we came and retested it, and then we started the bull run again. So it could happen in similar way here, that we go above it and then we go below it, and then the bull market starts again. Who knows, actually? Just some ideas from the charts from previous years. Another interesting thing is that even though we started the bull market here, we had like a mini bull cycle, but then another bear market here. So maybe we could have a double bear market this time also, who knows? And then maybe a year from now, because from this low, this time here, it was about 1.5 years. So we could have a similar situation here, that like there's another war that breaks out next year or whatever happens. That could be another catastrophic situation for the price, and then we start the bull run. Who knows? Or maybe the bull run never starts again, but I hope not. I mean, I hope it will, because I don't want Bitcoin to go away. I really hope that we will have a decentralized monetary base in the future, so we would have less political issues. Anyway, just some things from the chart. Buy signals from the RSI, and also looking at these longer term trend lines, we are at the bottom here. So some reasons to actually accumulate. And if we take a look at the fundamentals, we can go to CryptoQuant, and you have a lot of different indicators, and I just want to show a few of these. Some worry me a little bit, like the number of circulating supply of stablecoins. It is steadily growing, but the good thing here is that the stablecoins are not exiting the crypto ecosystem in mass. So this is a good signal that we're not seeing, you know, like a mass exodus out of crypto from the at least from the stablecoin perspective. So eventually this will start probably going up again, as long as people still believe that blockchains are a good way to transfer value across people and to store value even. So as long as blockchains are trustworthy, I think this number will go up. And of course, regulation has will affect this also. So we'll see how companies and countries react with their regulations. But just looking at these charts here, short-term holder SOPR, long-term holder SOPR, both are now below 1. And every time the number is below 1, it means that holders are selling at a loss. And usually whenever the number is below 1, that is a very good buying opportunity. So these both are now below 1, which in looking at history is a good buying opportunity. Some things that worry me is if you take a look at Ethereum fund holdings and Bitcoin fund holdings, you can see that funds have actually sold here a little bit. So we'll see if they will turn around or if they keep selling, because of all the markets are basically still in a downward spiral. So we'll see how things go, but this is not a good indicator for sure. Looking at miner in a miner position index, miner reserves, basically the same thing, just shown in a different way. Miner reserves shows how many Bitcoin the miners are holding. So now, right now they have like 1.85 million Bitcoin almost. And recently they have had to sell their Bitcoin because they're now mining at a loss. So they have to sell some to keep the operations running. So this could also have a cascading effect if the price of Bitcoin is low enough for long periods of time that the miners run out of cash, so they have to sell their Bitcoin, and eventually they would also have to sell the hardware as well. Hopefully that doesn't happen. That's also one of the big weaknesses of Bitcoin that I want to make another video about, how Bitcoin basically could destroy itself if the price went too low because of the miner revenue situation. It's like a whole thing. Just realized it not too long ago, but I haven't made a video about it yet. So that's one video that I will probably make. But anyway, I hope the miners will not capitulate too much. Anyway, looking at funding rates, we are still on the negative, which means that there's an incentive to place long bets on Bitcoin, which is usually a good sign that the markets are undervalued when the funding is negative. As you see here in 2020, the funding rates went completely negative, like massively negative for Bitcoin. Usually you don't see these numbers unless you are looking at an altcoin. So the funding rates were completely on the negative, and that's when we started the bull run. We haven't seen a massive spike on the funding rates yet. So maybe we could see another capitulation event from the miners. That would probably be a bad situation, or if another big exchange or lending platform goes down, that could also create some problems. But anyway, here we are in these funding rates. MVRV ratio and net unrealized profit loss indicators are both on the this is on the blue, which means it's screaming buy opportunity, and MVRV is also on the green here, which is another buying opportunity as well. So a lot of indicators are showing buy, but the macroeconomics situation, and of course the miner situation and the lending platform situation, these things are the big risks right now. Like if the miners have to capitulate, that could be bad. And yeah, anyway, it's like a pretty rough situation. Like a lot of indicators are showing buy, but we could still go lower, but I don't know. I think hopefully that 14,000, I hear a lot of people calling it. I hope at least that one holds, but right now probably a good idea to accumulate, even though we're headed for this dark winter. I would say it could be a good idea to accumulate a little bit at least. Hopefully the situation with the world doesn't go too bad, but I'm expecting it to go pretty bad. Anyway, I think that's it for the fundamentals. Not really, like nothing is showing me anything that much more interesting. Now I just want to talk about altcoins, some of the learnings that I've had, and also some, how do I say, maybe bottom indicators here as well. Because if we just sort different altcoins, I have some of my favorite altcoins or some interesting altcoins that I've had in the past sorted here in this in my favorite chart. If you sort these altcoins from their price from the all-time high, you can see that some of these coins are down like 99%, 98%, like Auto Farm, which I feel so bad about that I held it for too long. But anyway, it's down 98%. So how much lower can it actually even go? Of course, it can go to zero. Who knows when the developers stop developing. But from what I see, they are still developing. And this is quite interesting that if we take a look at QuickSwap, which is the most most popular decentralized exchange on the Matic Polygon network, this is down 97% right now. That's pretty insane. Like how could it go this low? I don't know. Maybe they've done something bad. I haven't examined that much. But from what I see and what I use, I still use QuickSwap for some trades on Polygon, but it's down 97%. And then let's actually flip this around and let's take a look at what kind of projects actually have held their value the best during this down market. So you can see Binance Coin is probably one of the best coins out there right now, down only 66%, even better than Bitcoin. And then if we take a look at different coins here, you can see Ethereum is here, Tron, Cosmos or Atom, Kava, Matic, Cardano, Solana. So a lot of these, even Polkadot is on top here. Heck, even Celsius is here now, which is insane. Kronos, Avax. So a lot of layer one blockchains is basically being able to hold their value the best in this downturn. And it's the protocols like Uniswap and so forth that have lost the most value. So from here going into the next bull market, I don't want to make the same mistake that I did holding a lot of these protocol coins in my portfolio as much. So going into the next bull market, like with Binance Chain, I was investing in the Binance Chain, investing in the Auto Farm, which was their one of the best yield aggregators on Binance Chain, and I got like 30x on that investment. But because of the downturn, Binance coin went, I think it was like 15x or 12x, something like that. So if I just bought Binance coin BNB and held that and not touched any of the coins on the Binance ecosystem, I would have done much better looking back from now. So it's a little bit annoying, to be honest, that I took all this downturn, all this upside, and then all this downturn as well. I did sell a lot of the altcoins that I had, but still, just if I had held that layer 1 coin, I would have done better. So going into the next bull market, I will probably have more of these layer 1 tokens. And let's actually also compare Matic, which is the token for the Polygon network, and their most our biggest decentralized exchange is, sorry about that, wait a minute, time to change. Okay, I was worried that somebody changed my password. Anyway, what was I gonna say? QuickSwap. Yeah, QuickSwap was the most popular first decentralized exchange on the Polygon network, and now it's down 97%. So if you just bought Matic and held Matic, you would have done much better than touching any of the other protocol coins out there. So for those reasons, going into the next bull market, I'm probably gonna be investing more in these layer 1 protocols. And just, I don't know if this is alpha, but just my opinion is that probably one of the best ones that I'm looking at to invest is actually Cosmos. It did not have that much upside compared to the other layer 1 blockchains out there, but one of the reasons why I'm quite bullish on Cosmos is that they have really good developers. Like, okay, the reason why I'm telling they have really good developers is that their software development kit is actually being used for the Binance Smart Chain, and not only Binance Smart Chain, but also for the Kronos Smart Chain, and some other smart chains are also using the Cosmos SDK. But the problem with the Atom token itself was that they were not able to capture the value of those blockchains, and there's not really a big incentive for those projects to either even hold Atom, and Atom doesn't capture the value. So using their roadmap going further for the Atom ecosystem, they are trying to find ways to capture the value of the Cosmos ecosystem better. So for that reason, I'm quite bullish for the Cosmos token. So that's probably one of the coins that I'm going to be buying and accumulating in this downturn. I don't know that much about the others, to be honest. I don't like that Solana is down all the time. Maybe they will get better, but that's just one. Another coin that I actually bought not too long ago from $210 was UNCX. I don't think I've announced this anywhere yet, but they are a cash flow positive DeFi project, and the founder of UNCX is always sending me messages like, hey, we are doing this and we are doing that. So that's basically why I bought it, because I see that they are always implementing, always developing, and I like that they did not come down that much. So, and they are giving now, I think, like 38% APY if you just stake UNCX. So I just took some UNCX and staked it for the yield. I don't know if it's a good play. I didn't put that much yet, but I am still trading in some of these projects that are still cash flow positive, that are here for the long term. But going further, probably a little bit less speculation from my end and more just on these layer 1 blockchains, and probably even more on Bitcoin than before. But outside of crypto, I'm probably going to invest in other things as well in the real world, because because I want to how do I say, distribute the risks even more. I bought some farmland and I bought real estate last year. So those are some of the things that I'm still interested in investing more into. But right now with crypto, because I took most of my money out of these centralized exchanges, my cash flow is actually on the negative right now. So I'm still living on savings and I don't like this situation. So right now I'm investing or actually learning about delta neutral strategies on DeFi. Calculator guy on YouTube had some interesting ideas as well, and some other YouTubers. But if you have good ideas how to generate yield or how I can monetize this YouTube channel a little bit better, let me know, because I just don't like the idea of having to live off of savings. So if you have some ideas, please let me know, and also let me know what you think about these strategies. Do you think this is the bottom, or do you think we will go to that, I don't know, $14,000, $13,000, even $12,000? Basically this peak here is the next stop that some people are calling. Or do you think this is the bottom? A lot of bottom signals out there, but for the next year, okay, I'll show this one once more. So every time we went down and made a low here, you can see that then we had like a mini bull cycle, and then another bear market, and then we had a higher low here. And same thing basically happened here on 2014. We hit this low, and then we went sideways, and we had these mini bull runs or mini bull cycles, and then we hit a low again. I think this is like a double bottom here, so I don't know which one was lower, but anyway, we hit the low here, and then the bull market started. So here I'm expecting for the next year quite choppy sideways, not really a clear upwards trend. I'm maybe a little bit upside, here, maybe even like a 40,000 or 35,000, 30,000, maybe something like that. But then another low, and from that low we will start the next bull cycle maybe. So for the next year, even though I'm accumulating, I will do it a little bit more carefully, knowing that the next winter is going to be rough in the world, especially in Europe, probably even in USA as well, with all the inflation going on, and I don't really see any good solutions from the politicians either. From what I'm seeing is just more crazy politics. So I don't think this situation is going to be solved by next winter, at least yet. So I don't think Bitcoin during this, when everything else is going down, I'm just not seeing that it will decouple. So maybe sideways, we will probably even break this trend for a while, and then next year, a year from now, we will probably start the real uptrend again after we hit the next low. That's just some idea that I have. So for that reason, I want kind of like a delta neutral strategy. I don't want to lose money. I don't want to, make crazy bets either. Just some, low risk strategies, basically what I'm looking for. So if you have ideas for those, let me know in the comments, or contact me on Telegram or Twitter. I would definitely want to know. And if I find some good strategies that I can use for myself, then I can share it with other people as well. Anyway, that's it for this video. Hope you liked it. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you on the next video.